on-duty, taxpayer-funded, narcissistic, cosplaying, manipulative men. No more excuses, no more amnesia, no more covering each other's backs, no more secrets and lies. So I hope you'll indulge me if, as an ex-English teacher, I begin my final remarks with a quote from a Shakespearean revenge tragedy. In Act 3, Scene 1 of Titus Andronicus, after Titus has learned his daughter had been raped, her hands cut off and her tongue cut out, he discovers his 2 sons have been murdered. Encouraging revenge, his brother Marcus says to him, "Now is the time to storm. Why art thou still?" To which Titus replies, "Ha, ha, ha." Then Marcus asks, "Why dost thou laugh? It fits not with this hour." And Titus's answer, "Why, I have not another tear to shed." I quote this exchange in the context of today's evidence to introduce some themes that I hope help unpack the complexity of emotion involved in being part of this shocking undercover policing scandal and the ongoing investigation into finding the truth. It illustrates a moment where laughter meets despair, a sensation with which I'm all too familiar. It's through humour and laughter that I, and many of the other women affected, have coped with much of the horror of our experience. Whether it's mocking the James Bond fantasies of these secret policemen, or giving them rude nicknames, or deriding their fictional reporting, or their grade D O-level style creative writing of love letters and poetry, we minimise their emotional impact and cut their grandiose self-importance down to size. I identify also with not having another tear to shed. The time for crying about what Mark Jenner did to me has long passed. Like Titus's daughter Lavinia, women like me were violated. By contrast, however, we have not been silenced. We have collectively transformed our pain into organising to expose and evidence this state-sponsored wrongdoing. This work is not yet finished. The law has not changed, but we have come a very, very long way from the time I was whispering to my friend my paranoid suspicions in the back garden. I am deeply grateful for the support, solidarity and brainpower of the women involved in our group, Police Spies Out of Lives, our wider campaigning partners and our legal team. Thanks also to my friends and family, many of whom have come along today and who've been considered collateral intrusion by the Metropolitan Police. Like many others who have been personally impacted by these state-sponsored con men, I have followed the inquiry closely from the outset, and with each evidential hearing that passes, I have become ever more convinced of the need for legislative change, particularly to the laws on consent and to those governing covert human intelligence sources. The inquiry's recommendations will be its legacy. I hope our voices will be listened to when these recommendations are drafted. Sex by deception must become a criminal offence. The Covert Human Intelligence Sources Criminal Conduct Act, or CHIS Act, must be overhauled. Immunity from prosecution must be replaced with a defence. There must be more judicial oversight of authorisations, and there simply must be limits on what crimes undercover operatives can be authorised to commit. No torture, no rape, no murder. It's hard to believe it even needs saying. Despite what we've been told, the Human Rights Act is not protecting women like me. So these limits must be explicit. The institutionalised sexism, misogyny and racism in the police, evidenced by these deployments, must be identified. And those who have received honours and commendations for their work must have them removed. This is what being held to account looks like. What has happened to us at the hands of these on-duty, taxpayer-funded, narcissistic, cosplaying, manipulative men must never happen to other women again. To return to Titus Andronicus, unlike him, I do not seek revenge on those who have harmed us, but unfiltered truth and genuine remorse. I listened to the evidence last month from the Black Family Justice Campaign spied on and was disturbed by the intergenerational trauma recounted by family members testifying. Similarly, the evidence of families of deceased children whose identities were stolen. I was made all too aware of the responsibility of having contributed to bringing this scandal to public attention. Had we not done so, these bereaved families would not have been required to relive in this public setting their most private grief yet again. But unlike the numerous police officers who have given the weak excuse that none of these documents were ever supposed to have been made public, arguing that if secrecy had been maintained, we would all have been saved this pain, I think it's better that we do know about the spying we've been subjected to. The way to right this wrong is not to cover it up further, but to come clean. So I have one plea. If all the undercover officers and their managers who are yet to testify, starting with Mark Jenner next Monday, if they want to show they are truly sorry rather than simply say they are, they must dig down into their memories, be honest about their failings, unearth their deeply buried consciences and tell the whole truth. No more excuses, no more amnesia, no more covering each other's backs, no more secrets and lies.